quite some time. So just to make yourselves feel a little bit more at ease and stuff, because I want to get up here and talk. This is what I do, talk. I want everyone to stand up, stretch your legs a little bit. When I first came to Australia, my coach, who was my coach at the time for that team, he picked me up at the airport, and you're not going to believe this, and I'm not lying to you, he drove me to a house in Mount Waverly, and I stayed my first 2 years in Australia in Mount Waverly. So I knew what this place was. Now I live in a place called Essendon. You guys have heard of it. And I say I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be here because with the rain and everything, it took me 2 hours and 15 minutes on the road to get here today. So I'm happy to be here. But I'm here. So I'm answering questions and stuff like, I'm seeing these awards being given out and things like that, and I'm thinking, okay, what does it take to become an elite athlete? And I've been around the world and I've done so many amazing things that I don't want to just start jumbling up things and telling you guys too much. I want to try to, get some key points so that with me being here tonight, my hope, my intentions, I'm praying that I say something or tell a story or do something or sign an autograph or something that helps these kids take their life to a new level and, really start to enjoy their lives and stuff as well. Because it didn't start off all that great for me in the beginning. She introduced me, but what I'm going to do is to reintroduce myself and you guys allow me to do that. I visit primary schools, high schools on a daily basis. This is what I do. After I finished playing elite basketball for the Perth Wildcats, I needed some type of job, so I said, I'm just going to start working for a company called Coach Approach. And Coach Approach sends me out to all these schools, and I get to interact with kids and stuff and give them a little bit of my background and a little bit of my history or so to try to influence their lives. So here it goes. I made this big red board because I was at one primary school and I was telling kids about all these amazing things I've done. I said, I've done this and I've done this. And all the kids were like, whoa. And I said, yeah, I've done that too, and I met this person as well. And kids were like, wow. And then all of a sudden I had a smart kid. You got one smart kid there. He raised his hand. And I'm like, well, I didn't ask for any questions, but what's your question? And the kid said, Mike, how do we know you've done all these things before? He said, you. So he had a good point though. I said, trust me. I'm not lying to you, trust me. But as I went home, it started to I ain't saying bother me, but I really wanted to say, kids, I've really done something. I've really been there and back again. So I put together what I call the big red board. Here it around like a suitcase or so, and it allows people just to get a little background about me. It divides me into 4 categories. We have Mike Spears, the person. Then we have Mike Spears, the basketball player. Most people only think of me as a basketball player, but I've done so much more in my life than just basketball. My favorite part is Mike Spears, the coach, influencing other young people so they can really get a good start in life as well. Because I see so many kids, a lot of public high schools as well. That's why I'm so wow, I'm ready to do cartwheels with all the things I'm seeing at this school. But I visit public schools, and when I leave those schools, I go, those kids, they're just not going to make it, So many kids nowadays are trying to be adults right away. They pick up things that make them independent, like smoking, drinking, drugs, partying, They do these things because it makes them feel like they're an adult, independent. And I go, give yourself a chance to learn skills. Learn everything you can, and your life will go so much easier. And that's what I try to really get across to people. So when I talk a little bit about my life, I say, you know what? You're looking at Mike Spears right now, the successful one. But I grew up, I have 1 brother and 4 sisters. My mom ended up having 6 kids. In the beginning, I asked my mom, because I used to talk to my mom a lot, that's kind of like how I probably did all this stuff. But she says, Mike, I dropped out of school in grade 10. I said, why? She goes, well, I got pregnant with you. So, okay, I hope I'm not, too much of a disadvantage or a disappointment. But she goes, no, I was a silly kid making bad decisions and stuff. So I dropped out of school, and it disappointed her that she never got any high school equivalency or any kind of degree or diploma or anything. And she went on to have 6 kids, never having been married, so she made a lot of mistakes. Me growing up as a kid, I looked around seeing a lot of disappointing things in my life. The car didn't work. My mom never could find a good job. You know, it just seemed like things were just not going good. And you know what? I was disappointed. I was like, you know what? I didn't ask for this kind of life. And you watch TV shows, and I started off watching sports actually. And you see sports stars on TV jumping around and shooting baskets or running football, scoring touchdowns, dancing in the end zone and things like that. There's cheerleaders jumping around in the background. And I'm just thinking like, what a fantastic life. How come I don't have that type of life? So when I started playing sports, mostly it was just to stay off the streets and give me something to do. You know what I mean? I really didn't have much to do. All my friends were doing negative things, trying to grow up too fast, smoking, drinking. Hey, they wanted to be adults. Everyone wants to be adults. So I was kind of like one of them until I started playing a sport of basketball. Basketball has given me a lot in my life. I have used this thing, which I didn't invent. I just got so good at the skills of basketball. And I'm going to go over that real quick, how I approach kids with those 3 signs. But I got so good at those skills of basketball that it has opened up a lot of doors for me. And I'll explain that in a minute. But here I am on the front cover of magazines. Like I said, I've been to 8 different countries, traveling the world, seeing lots of things, experiencing lots of things. I drive nice cars. I eat in fancy restaurants. I meet lots of famous people. I bought my mom a house. I'm living a dream life now. But it didn't start off that way. Now that I'm successful, you might say, I'm not trying to say brag and look at me. I worked hard to get all that way. I love coaching and influencing young people. I love seeing young people who have wanted to give up, but because I said something or, demonstrated or told them a story, they did one more go, or they tried it one more time, and that was the thing that kind of got them over the hump. And now they're succeeding, and I go, yeah, I'm glad I had some involvement in that young person's life. That's what I get an incredible thrill out of, and this is why I continue to do what I do. And there are lots of famous people that I met, the Arnold Schwarzeneggers, Will Smith, a lot of the, singing groups you guys have met. You guys ever heard of Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre's and all these people? They're people just like us. They're just very good at what they do.